right, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining me once again. See, the disrespect, no, we don't want it again. I mean, let me first of all apologize, all right? You know, the president of Burkina Faso had an interview. He had enough of it, and then he decided that, look, we are going to talk about it. And then he called that, let's have the conversation. And then he faced the media. It was a whole banter. I know many of you watch, the translations from many platforms and all that. And I apologize, okay, for not being able to come out and then of being able to coming out and telling you the detail or giving you all the vibe of it, because I was occupied with a lot of things that concern this platform. Okay, we are trying to make it much more engaging and then make it much more bigger because of the expansion that we are trying to do. It took my time away. So forgive me. I know you will forgive me, right? So very interesting things were said during the interview, but I took the one that is very, very much more important to me, piece of it. So family, the president of Burkina Faso made it clear on that interview that all the people talking about democracy, they are dictators.
God have mercy.
Yeah, man. He said all of them, the Western countries, the NGOs, everybody talking about democracy, they are, France, US, they are all dictators. And then he has a way of proving it, and he has proven it. This interview in particular, some people came to disgrace him. Some of the journalists came, and their main goal was to corner him, but the guy was so intelligent that, they couldn't count and they couldn't count. Anyway, let's watch one of the video. I have about, I think, 3 videos right here, short ones, where he says a couple of things. He spoke about the liberation, and they asked him whether people are free and there's liberty in Burkina Faso. He answered that question also. And one of the most favorite one about democracy, right? So let's get right into it. Watch this for me, man.
Saying country of freedom, it's not true. They are all dictators. Look today at the wars that are going on. Are you crazy as a journalist to try and make certain report there? It will never happen. When the Russian war Ukraine began, they sacked a lot of Russian media in France. That's what freedom of expression is all about. No, every freedom has its limits. When the citizens and others are out to protests, they beat them well. They only wanted to express their opinion to say to the state that there is a need for certain policy for us, so we too can live.
I mean, he's talking about how people went on the street to protest in these European countries. I mean, even involving France, people were beating up. That's the democracy they are talking about, man.
We take care of our citizens. Our citizens have never protested, and we beat them up. We take care of them. We do everything we can so that they can cultivate quietly, give their best. But elsewhere, it is not done.
I mean, this is, the guy... The president of Burkina Faso have a way of proving his point. He said, I also mentioned that couple of times on my show here, that we have not seen protests in Burkina Faso where people were brutalized, like we saw in Cameroon, we saw in Uganda, we saw in Togo, we saw in Tanzania, we saw in Western countries where somehow anyhow people hit the street. Even in the United States, where we talk about freedom of speech, you understand? People were beaten up, and then some people die because of one or two things. People hit the street and they said they don't agree to exercise their own right. He said that nothing like that happened in Burkina Faso. So if you are talking about liberty and freedom, Burkina Faso is a place we can point out to that the people are free. They're trying to, he's decoding their mind. Even the journalists, they regretted asking him some of the questions. And when he said that as for them in Burkina Faso, they are doing everything possible, taking care of their farmers, and they are living in peace and providing what the farmers need to produce food for themselves and provide for the state to the level where they can export outside. They are living in peace. But elsewhere, that doesn't happen. When people hit the street to protest, they beat them and they buy them. Let's move forward.
But it is these countries that are in the stands, saying country of freedom. It's not true. They are all dictators. Their freedom is only face-to-face with Africa, so we must relativize freedom. Here we are more free than them.
You heard that, right? Ici, nous sommes plus libres que eux. Here, we are more free than them. The people who are telling us about freedom of speech, we in Burkina Faso, we are more free than them. He's telling them the truth that they are more free than the people who are talking about freedom of speech. Because in those countries, we saw people, it is not the first time Traore has been saying this. He made this statement couple of times that he doesn't understand when they talk about democracy. freedom of expression. But here we are, the countries that they say they are practicing democracy, they are not under military leadership. People will hit the street to express their own view, exercise their own constitutional rights. They will be brutalized, and then some of them will die in the process, they'll beat them, and then some of them will arrest them, some will go missing, like Togo, for example, like this, right? How is the Western media going to carry this out? In all this conversation and this interview, only one thing the Western media pull out, when Ibrahim Traoré said the country should forget about democracy. They don't want democracy that will kill people. You understand? So that one, they left it out. But something also on board that will interest you. He said that they made it look like Burkina Faso, when you are walking the street and then we meet you, you open your mouth, then we are moving with spear and cutlass or weapon, and once you open your mouth, then we hit you. Listen to this.
Can individual freedom be integrated in your policy of revolution and total sovereignty? The freedom of expression was for everyone without imposing your power on them.
Ah, yes, that is something interesting. You did very well to have come. This is something that the mainstream media spends time lying in Europe as if here, people walked around with axes and weapons. When you open your mouth, you are hit. It's not true. There is freedom. Everyone is free to say what he wants, to give his opinion and everything. Even on our TV channels, you see people who give their opinions. But freedom has its limits. For example, we are a country at war. We will not allow anyone to demoralize our troops. While they are on that we will not allow the sell-out local that are among us to want to sabotage our struggle, to bring our country back between the claws of these imperialists.
This is not the first time Traore have been making this statement. Honestly speaking, Traore have been making this statement almost all the time. You know, that he will not allow anybody demonize their troops, the troops who are on the battlefield fighting for the survival, the peace that they are enjoying in Burkina Faso. And that will be a painful thing, that I will be on the field, trying to make sure that there is peace in my country, and some media houses will be, or the leader will allow some people will be demonizing us and making it look like we are not fighting, we are not doing what it takes to make sure that the country is at peace. He said they will not allow that to happen. Although there is freedom of speech, there's a limit to it. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you should damage the image and then destroy the work that the government is doing. Let's move forward, family. This is interesting. If you're enjoying this, please hit the like button for me, all right? Let's go.
The freedom of an individual, as we said, it ends where the freedom of the other begins. Otherwise, you cannot have a society. As much as you are free to say what you want, he is also free to say what he wants. And when you start to each one say what he wants, what does it end with? The fight. Do we sit down? We let our society go into decline, no, even. Those who say that freedom of expression, there is no freedom in reality. Then we take the French authorities not to mix with the French population. Does freedom of expression in France? There is not. If you do not align yourself with the ideology of the authorities, they hunt you on the TV set. Journalists were hunt, or haven't we seen? At the Infoca lately, the Claudias who were expelled from the RFI, they are journalists, right? Who have experience but were expelled on the radio. Why? Simply because of their opinions. So there is no freedom of expression there.
That is right there. The president of Burkina Faso is very intelligent, honestly speaking. The freedom of speech that they have been telling us. If Burkina Faso chase out a media house right now or close down a media house because of propaganda, guess what? The Western media will carry it all over. But let me be here on this platform and violate the rules of this platform. This platform will be closed down immediately. I will be shadow banned, or I will be banned, or something will happen, because they have their rules and regulation, and I must do everything possible to abide by it so that I don't get myself in trouble. When you go to Europe, journalists who publish things that doesn't align with authority, sometimes they are under threat. Were we not here before Donald Trump sued BBC? Were we not here before Donald Trump, the country that have been telling all of us about freedom of speech? He was asked a question. When they asked him the question, the journalist asked him the question, he replied the journalist with another question by asking the question, from which channel are you coming? When the journalist said, I'm from CNN, he said, I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news. And then he moved to next journalist to talk to next journalist. Why? Because I mean, that is it. When we're talking about freedom of speech, you shouldn't exclude anybody. And he said something very vital. He said the freedom of speech that they are talking about, when it comes to freedom of speech, it is only face to face. When they come face to face with Africans, is what they talk about freedom and freedom of speech. And therefore, in Burkina Faso, your opinions are welcome, but we will not allow anybody to demonize our troops or our hard work that we are doing to make sure that the country stand. Like Ghana, for example, like this. I mean, look at what is going on in Ghana. People can sit on TV and lie against the government, or the opposition can come out with propaganda. They even put a channel. There's a channel in Ghana called Ghana Today. That channel, their job is to propagate false news. And it's just like that. The communication minister, I don't know exactly what he's doing to cure and clean the media space to make sure that these things stop. People will sit down and their job is to put sand in the work of the government, to destroy the government. If the government is doing something good, because they have been paid by the other party, they are coming on board to destroy the government. This sponsored propaganda and journalism, he said they will not allow it to happen in Burkina Faso. I mean, this man is so intelligent and he's intentional about it. Now, in the interview, apart from the things that Ibrahim Traoré said during this interview, he said a lot of things. I know many of you watched already, but one of the things that the Western media and those media houses carry it along, they forget and ignore everything. They ignore the conversation about development. They ignore the conversation about good health. They ignore the conversation about how other countries are investing in Burkina Faso. They ignore the conversation about how the troops are working to make sure that the tea activity in the region stop. They ignore all those conversations. The only thing they carry out is this one.
First, I don't even know why people bringing back this. The question of election, people must forget the question of democracy. And that's number one objective. Normally, if Africans hear about democracy, the one who comes to talk about democracy must run away like that. Democracy kills. That's the democracy we want. Look at Libya. It is an example next to us. They were living in peace, right? They lived in peace. Water was free. There were so many free things when people got married. They already had social bonuses and everything. But today, the Libyans are those who walks with cans. To look for water, this is democracy. Wherever they want to establish democracy in the world, it's in the blood. May God spare us from this democracy. The people are dying in the name democracy. It is slavery. There is no democracy in this world. They do it when they want and to establish, and it kill. Democracy that kills. We do not want a democracy that God keeps us from this democracy. We are focused on our conquest, on our refoundation, and on the revolution. It is the only way to develop.
I mean, that is the only way to develop. Is that a democracy? You should look at it. The democracy that will buy people, they don't want that one. The democracy that will unalive people, they don't want it. And he used Libya as an example. I mean, the people were living in peace. They said, no, not democracy. Gaddafi is a dictator. We are going there. Hey, chobo, hey, yo. America is going to install democracy. They went there. Look at Libya today. Democracy that will be blood-sucking. They don't want it. They want freedom. They are concentrated. Everybody should forget about this democracy thing. They are concentrated in rebuilding their nation and continue with their revolution. And that's simple as it is. This is the only thing that the whole Western media and other media houses carry out. And then that's all. Everywhere you go, hey, Ibrahim Traoré says you should forget democracy, because we have been coded to believe that that is the only, governance system that mankind is go with. You understand? The nation that is talking about democracy, we are all here before. People who hit the street in the United States to protest, and then a lot of things happen along the line, which we are not going to talk about right now. So the president of Burkina Faso is not joking when he talk about the fact that they are, on the path of the revolution. And this is not something that is going to change. They have even adopted the charter, the constitution is out, everything is out. So they are on the path of revolution. Yeah? Those of you who are still want to be in this, the imported democracy, no problem. You all know that you can continue. But as for them, they are moving forward. But opinion, they say, are different. With all being said, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop your thoughts in the comment section respectfully and subscribe. Put us on notification, all right? This platform, I promise you, we are going to make it one of the most interesting platforms you've ever come across. So we are just starting, all right? Respect.